Yay! So congratulations, everyone, again. Each person will have about 1 minute to present. I'm gonna call I think Alex is not here yet, so I'm gonna skip her. Let me know if I'm wrong. Alex Shield is not yet. Okay, let's move on to Cheyenne Novin, and then we come back to Alex when she.
Okay, hi everyone.
Hey.
I'm gonna actually turn on my camera. Give me one sec. Okay, hello. So my name is Cheyenne. I go by he, him pronouns, and my project is titled, it's in the chat, Promoting Digital Research Infrastructure and Equity-Focused Research, and Forming Sustainable Connections with Early Career Translational Researchers. So essentially what I want to do is help translational researchers to become more familiar with digital research infrastructure and open science. And I'm hoping to achieve that through an educational seminar that it's kind of a primer and gives some people ideas on how they can incorporate that to their practice. And I had a great time in Open Seeds. I really just a big highlight and shout out to my mentor, Aswati, who is here. Thank you for coming to support me. It was such a pleasure to be able to meet like constantly and being just like a really supportive team and keeping people, I think we're like staying accountable, but then also still also being really like supportive and open and giving a lot of great feedback. So gave me a really great taste of like what mentorship could look like. And as I continue into my I guess career, my academic career, I hope to take a bit of that essence into whenever I'm in that position as well. So thank you. And I think I addressed all the prompts. So I'm gonna, did I? Yeah.
Amazing. Thank you. Yeah, it's super related to that. Also agree that I mean it's good that you're learning by what we are doing to mentor. Next up is Azam.
Hello, everyone. I'm excited to present my project to you as a part of OLS Cohort under the title of Cultivating 21st Skills for Sustainable Development Goals in Supporting Participatory Research Involving Marginalized Children. Yes, my name is Azam. I'm currently PhD student at Education Department, McGill University, Montreal, Canada. And this project was part of a champion pilot program of EDIA digital research, which I was privileged to take part in. And to share a little bit of OLS journey, before coming to this cohort, I had no idea about open life science and the licenses. And because as an educator, we always deal with marginalized groups and vulnerable groups. So we never share our data. But in this team, I learned about metadata and the importance of that. And I was inspired to create our website. And another important point was that we always, participate research produces a huge data, especially when it involves digital things. So in this research, I learned about managed data management, which was very important for our team. Yes, so I really thank the group, the team, Malvika, Gracio, my mentor, Dr. Makaroon, and my supervisor also, Claudia Michel, Professor Claudia Michel, Taj, Debs, Deborah, everyone. It was amazing event, and really, I never forget this moment. Thank you.
Yay, congratulations. Next up is Alfredo.
Hi, everyone. Hello.
Hi.
So my name is Alfredo Quevedo. I'm a professor of computational medicinal chemistry in Argentina. So I joined this training with my project named Tidy Screen, which is a Python package, or is supposed to evolve into a Python package able to organize and manage and drive large drug screening campaigns, which is the activity I do the most during my academic research, like screening chemical spaces in order to be able to find hits in order to be considered as potential drugs. So during the training, I learned a lot of things. The things I learned were well above my expectations. I had the great opportunity to interact with my tutor, obviously, and my tutor, Gemma Turom. She's like directing a very academically related project to the one I intend to develop, obviously more evolved. So that was really very important for my training. Also, the experience of Gemma and her co-workers really boosted my motivation. That I think I would like to highlight that the opportunity to work in an open source environment is really very valuable in order to boost motivation. That is at the end of the day one of the most important things when you try to work in any field. So I am very happy with participating in this training, and I would like to acknowledge all the OLS team, and particularly Gemma for the time devoted to the tutor.
Amazing. Congratulations, Alfredo and Gemma. Just a reminder, we have the pad. You can leave notes for the presenters there. And please take a moment to watch the presentations that are also linked in the pad. Next one is Alex.
Hello, everybody. I'm Alexis, doctoral researcher at the Université de Montréal, University of Montreal. My project is called INDABA, which stands for Inception of Data in Academia for Black Acknowledgement. So the overall vision of the project is to build a Canadian research landscape where data from Black communities are produced and governed inclusively, taking into account, of course, the knowledge and interest of these communities. So to achieve this, several specific objectives and activities are being implemented, such as workshops, guidelines for the inclusive governance of Black data, and data governance training for Black scientists in particular. So as part of this, had the pleasure of regularly taking part in the open science training organized by OLS. What has particularly impressed me on this training journey is the caring and listening that prevails within the OLS community. So thank you very much, guys. Rather during the training sessions or the mentoring sessions. So I'd like to take this opportunity to thank the entire OLS community, my mentor Fabrice and my classmates, Clotilde and Sam Place, the dream teams, my mentors and colleagues at the University of Montreal, the Réseau de la Recherche Afro-Orientée, Afro-Oriented Research Network, and of course, the Digital Research Alliance of Canada for the funding. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Yay. Next one is Amy. Hi, Amy.
Hi, I'm Amy. I'm a PhD candidate from UBC, the Vancouver campus. My project is called Enhancing Awareness and Training of DRI Resources for Equity Seeking Groups in Evolutionary Biology. The goal of this project was to create a central free online resource for students and early career researchers to access background knowledge in evolutionary biology and also basic bioinformatics training. We're also holding a couple workshops for bioinformatic training. This course, OLS, has taught me a lot about open science. I didn't have a whole lot of knowledge coming into it. Taught me a lot about open licenses, open collaboration, which has really benefited my project. I'm actually collaborating with a fellow mentee from across Canada. And so we're able to share our training materials and our projects through GitHub, which is really great. And then she's also coming to Vancouver to hold a workshop, and we're going to work on it together. What else? I would really like to thank my EDIA mentor, my fellow collaborators who are helping me develop the training material, and modules, and also my OLS mentor, Pradeep. He has been really amazing in addressing issues that have come up. And also my fellow mentees in my group, Letitia and Lana. We've had a lot of long discussions, and we're all hoping to collaborate in the future. Yeah, thank you. And the OLS team, thank you so much.
That's great. Congratulations. Well, like real life connections and friendships. Okay, next one is Mirta. Hi, Mirta.
Yes, well, nice to see you all. I cannot believe we are almost there. This is our graduation call. So my name is Mista. I'm a postdoc at McGill University in Montreal. I'm running a project titled Accelerated Computing for Women and Racialized Groups and Students from Unprivileged Countries, which is mostly localized here at McGill. So the vision of our project is really to work with these groups at our university to teach high performance computing skills, inform the students about all these resources so they can become more effective. So it's really about empowering them for their projects and things that they need to get done. And we had two goals. First is really to expand that access to HPC and then deliver these targeted training programs. They're still underway. We also designed a survey that will be going out just to assess where our students are and their level of just competence with high performance computing. What do they really need and in which format? And so in terms of the OLS, I just want to thank you all. I would say I also came into the program not knowing much. I benefited a lot from, for example, Creative Commons licenses, just being aware that you can still protect the IP in that way, even if you want to make your code open and available. It was a major shift for me personally. And just what are different open science practices and benefits, the feedback that we can all get and the quality that we can achieve by having that collaborative approach to our projects. So I just want to thank all the organizers. I want to thank our mentor in particular of our small group. So I was in a small group with Vincent and Emily, also from McGill. That was super enjoyable. But our mentor, Aman Goel, he was so on top of everything. I just want to publicly thank him. And so if it wasn't for him, I think for us it would be a bit harder to keep on track and just he really helped us a lot. So thank you for everything. And I just wanted to congratulate you all. And I wish you all the best with your projects.
Yay, congratulations, Mirta. Next one is Alex Shield.
Hello, my name is Alex Shield. I am a settler scholar and currently work as a lecturer at Simon Fraser University in the Department of Indigenous Studies. The title of my project is Understanding the Principles of CARE, FAIR, and OCAP in the context of localized Indigenous communities. And my vision statement that has gone through some changes since I started basically is that I'm working with allied university colleagues. Oh, am I unmuted? Okay, I thought I was muted for a second. Everyone's
hear
not
you.
there. I'm working with allied university colleagues to improve upon an existing open source database that contains information about Indigenous authors and the works that they've produced in the context of Canada. And the goal is making this database more accessible and useful for researchers. One key moment in my learning so far, I think, has been actually applying what we were learning in OLS training directly to my project, like while the training was happening. And that is a larger conversation that I talk more about in my video, but about the importance of having a data management plan. So that led me to kind of re-envision the goals of my project in a way that at first I kind of, I felt panicked that I wasn't following the kind of planned trajectory, but in consultation with my mentor, realized that actually some of that re-envisioning is really important and will probably be helpful in the long run. I'd like to thank the OLS team, my EDIA mentor and supervisor, my project team that I kind of have been working with on the side, but especially my mentor, Gracielle, for supporting me through the many learning curves and speed bumps as someone that is coming to the concept of open science kind of not really having a great understanding, and now really can see the ways that the work that I do and the work that my team does, is part of this larger idea. I'm also really thankful for all of the connections that I've made in this program. So I've met people that I didn't know before, and some people that are even like close to me geographically that are working through similar challenges. Then I think that we can all really benefit from the work that each other is doing. So that's a really amazing takeaway too. So thank you to everyone, and I wish everyone all of the best with their projects.
Yay, congratulations. Okay, next up is Amir.
Hello, everyone. My name's Amir. I attend the University, Concordia University in Montreal. My project was titled Breaking Barriers in AI for Materials and Molecules. The focus of that project was to help train students and sort of develop the community with regards to using AI tools to help predict whether that material properties or material structures, things like that. It's very much a very developing field as if you look it up. So in terms of training people, we have workshops. One of them should be next week, and then I have another 2 of those in person and hybrid for February and March. There might be also just some fully remote ones as well, but I have to email those people. We have, of course, in terms of the community, I started a Teams group just to start a bit of communications among people interested, whether that be for what events they want to see, if they want to collaborate with other people, if they like just to share papers they find that are very interesting, things like that, just to get those perspectives and communication lines going. And yeah, also, of course, there's a survey that I did post in the Slack group with regards to just AI applications for sciences. So it relates to DRAC and things like that. So if anybody has about 8 minutes, that's what they estimate it takes time to complete. Please do. I'd love to see your responses. Last but not least, I wrote in the Slack, if anybody is from Montreal, I'd like to do a evening sort of networking event. Nothing too crazy. I know some from McGill. I know there was somebody here from UDM. But if you're in the Montreal, maybe if you could comment on that post. With all that said, thank you for your time. And to OLS, my mentors, and my collaborators for helping me get through this. Thank you very much.
Yay, congratulations, Amir. If you want to share the link to the survey in the chat, also feel free to do it. Just a reminder, you all have the opportunity to add comments to the Framapad and to watch each other's presentations. The link is over there. Next up is Yue.
Hi everyone, I'm Yue from University of British Columbia. Now I'm at forestry as a postdoc, and my project is advancing equity in forestry. So in this project, I wanna increase the accessibility of women group in forestry about using the AI techniques and also the DRI, their computing resources and so on. So before the open seeds, I know not too much about open science. So after it, I realized that open science could also empower women in forestry that to, for example, increase their impaction and make their research and my research more replayable and more shareable, and thus we can also more access to other resources and so on. So after realize its importance, I also use this knowledge in my project that design some other workshops to also share this knowledge to other people to increase their project and research. So it really helps me a lot. So I also want to acknowledge the OLS team, my mentor who gave me a lot of suggestions and guide me in the establish of the GitHub pages and so on. And also my collaborators, they gave me many insights. And also through the exposition, I know much about the how to build a community of open science. And we meet in geospatial, we meet in forestry communities. So helps me a lot. And congrats to everyone and hope you also enjoy this program. Thank you.
Amazing. Congratulations.
Mhm.
Next one is Lo Jane.
Yes, hi everyone. My name is Lo Jane Humwe. I am a doctoral student at York University in Toronto, Canada, and my project is titled Building the Knowledge Infrastructure for Mental Health Scientists from Diverse Backgrounds to Access the Alliance Digital Research Infrastructure. So, as a graduate student myself, I found that there's a lack of awareness about digital research tools like AI, data management, cybersecurity, and all of that in the mental health field. But that these tools are very important to be able to conduct innovative and impactful researchers. So the goal of this project was to equip mental health researchers with the knowledge and the skills. And to do that, I partnered with Divert Mental Health, which is a research training platform to help build an equitable and accessible mental health system for children, family, and youth across Canada. So through this collaboration, I got to learn a lot about what mental health researchers are looking for. So we generated a learning pathway in collaboration with IBM Skills Build as well. So it's been a very interesting project, and I like to see the reviewers' comments on my video because it seems like there's other champions who are building similar pathways to make this accessible. So it'd be a great networking opportunity. And I'd like to thank my mentor, Ariana. She's been instrumental in my learning and helping me get the project running through OLS. I'm also grateful for OLS and the Alliance EDA Champions Program for providing me with the means to get this project running and to help mental health researchers have accessible information. Thank you.
Amazing. Congratulations. We need to see the cat, please.
Oh, yes, he decided to come visit right now. This is Melly.
He's proud of you.
Adorable.
Yeah.
Okay. Next up is Nushin.
Hello everyone, nice to see you all. I hope that I'm audible.
Yeah.
Am I audible?
Yeah.
Okay, great. So my name is Nushin and I'm a PhD student in computer science at University of Manitoba in Canada. And my project is called Empowering Women Researchers in STEM, creating an inclusive and supportive environment to leverage advanced research computing services. My vision in this project was to make ARC resources more accessible and less intimidating, like for women in STEM, by offering inclusive training and also an easy to follow resources that can help them to build confidence and skills in using them. So I built a website which is publicly available on the GitHub repository, and I provide some interfaces that you can just connect with us and let us know that which topic that you would like us to make a tutorial on that. And there is also as this project is publicly available on the GitHub, you can also share your views and your ideas on the issue, a part of the GitHub repository. And one of the key moments in this journey was when I connected with other researchers who shared similar struggles in using the ARC resources. It made me just realize that I'm not alone in facing these challenges, and that by working together, we can create a more welcoming and also supportive environment for everyone. And the good thing was that within the wrap up week, I received some collaboration from the fellows within OLS-9 Cohort group to share the ideas and also to have some collaborative journey in future for also this cohort as well. So I would like also to take a moment to thank my mentor Sanjit and the OLS organizers, my supervisor Dr. Henry, and also this big family of the cohort here, and for their incredible support and encouragement throughout this journey. And thank you all.
Amazing. Congratulations. Yeah, I see a comment on your session in the Permapad about how many champions are building trainings as well. And it will be good for you all to connect. Maybe we can create a channel in the Slack. So that's also an invitation for you all to keep hanging out in the Slack for
Yeah, that's
OLS.
great. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's, I'm looking forward to that. Yeah, thank you.
cool. Okay, next up is Moses.
Hi, everyone. My name is Moses Ellison, and I'm a doctoral student at Lakehead University. My project seeks to translate habitat modeling with indigenous insights. So it combines both remote sensing technology and the perspective of the indigenous people. It's quite difficult to quantify, but by estimate, I would say that all the resources that I've used, including the softwares, among many other things that I've used to build my career up to this point, are opened. And one of the things I look forward to is to make whatever contribution I'm making to the scientific community also opened. But this is quite complex in the context of indigenous people. So I was looking forward through the program to learn more about effective ways to engage and then also to go about this whole data management thing in the context of making it open when dealing with indigenous people. And I'm very thankful to the OLS community, including all the instructors, the mentee, and mentors. Special thanks to my mentor, Alessandro, for all the great help. And I would also want to thank my supervisors here in Lakehead University and everyone for being great. And because it's been great being with you and learning from you. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you all for being great. Congratulations, Moses. Next up is Cancer Biomaker team.
Yeah, hi everyone. My name is Suzanne Juki. I'm part of a team of 4 people, Brevin Ocheng, George Luganzo, and Ahmad. We are a team originally from East Africa, but I'm a student. I'm finishing, just finished actually, from Hebrew University of Jerusalem in Israel. I'm honored to be here, and our project is entitled Cancer Biomarker Database Team. When we started, we were actually working on one enzyme that deals with membrane formology for glioblastoma, which is a brain cancer. But we switched that after realizing that we have a research gap in Africa. So this is why we changed the name to this. So this is actually part of the surprise in the project, because we changed the whole thing to another aspect, which is part of. So yes. I work with, as I said, Brevin Ochieng, who's from Kenya, Kemri, which is one of the major research institutes in Africa, in Kenya. George Lugonzo, who is a researcher also in another animal research center in Africa, Kenya, and Ahmed, who is a postdoctoral student and researcher in Somalia. So yes, so we acknowledge the efforts of our mentor, Dr. Caleb Kibet, who has been exceedingly and abundantly able and willing to meet with us and change the meeting times to when he is available and we're available, and more on over to help us with making this project a reality. So I acknowledge this. And tomorrow, other than this, we also acknowledge and say many thanks to the OLS team, Yehudi, Malvika, and everybody else who's been so instrumental. Yeah, so many thanks. And we are happy to do this again in any other platform and necessity area. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Yay,
Bye.
amazing. Thank you, Suzanne. Next up is Jane.
Can I check if other team members from that team would like to just
Oh, yeah.
introduce themselves before we move on?
Hi, my name is Brevin, master student, Kenyatta University, also a research scientist at Cambridge, as Susan has said. I'm grateful for the opportunity given by the OLS team. I learned a lot how to use GitHub, incorporate contributing guidelines, the licenses, creating a database for ourselves by making a website and a minimum viable product. So through that session, I've also learned a lot in software skills, some software skills, data visualization techniques. So I'm very grateful. How I wish it could be more and more so that we can sharpen our skills. Thank you, Malvika and the team.
Cool.
Okay, thank you, Brevin. My name is Ahmed, and as Susan has introduced, this is one of the projects that have just changed its, name during the training, and then maybe we were, I think, one of the teams or one of the only people that were in a team only. So maybe everyone had an idea or a project. So we were to join forces in just one project as required by the OLS. Then now we came up with this idea due to the gap that has been mentioned by Susan, as cancer biomarkers gap exists here in Africa. And this is actually important for many things. Like we know cancer biomarkers are important for many things, like diagnosis, prognosis, or response to treatment, or even development of targeted therapy. So this is important to, for example, create a lot of network of Africans who can join forces together to collaborate and then network together to develop maybe this into a database that can inform maybe the background of cancers from people in Africa. So this might be challenging. It looks somehow difficult, but I believe the way is open for people to join and then collaborate in this as an open source database. And then we have learned a lot from this, like collaborating, networking, a lot of information, treated in a lot of things, like multitasking, doing a lot of things at the same time. So it was very fruitful journey. I learned a lot, like data visualization, GitHub, so many things. And I thank all the team for this opportunity, and I thank my team members and our mentor, Dr. Kali. So thank you all.
Amazing, great teamwork. Okay, I think. Hi, Josh. Yes. We can't hear you. No.
You
N-
you can't hear me?
yeah.
Okay, let me speak without my
Yeah.
earphones. Thank you, everyone, and congratulations all the graduates. My name is George Lugonzo from Kenya, East Africa. I work with the Kenya Agricultural and Livestock Research Organization. I'm part of the team that is working on glioblastoma markers, and specifically the response of this cancer to chemotherapy. We all agree that cancer is a menace that require concerted efforts for us to defeat it. And I'm glad that we are off the ground to capturing data that can inform us on how this cancer responds to chemotherapy. I want to appreciate the OLS team for facilitating my participation in this team and also for running the program. I also want to thank our mentor, Dr. Kibet, who has been always available for consultation and guidance. I also want to thank my team who have been dedicated to this program. And our Saturdays from 9 to 8 has been, from 9 to around 10 has always been dedicated to our project. So thank you so much, team. And once again, congratulations, all the graduates. Cheers.
Okay, amazing. Is there anyone else from the group who wants? No? Okay. Okay, next up is Jane.
Yes. Hello, everyone. My name is Jane Eziriwe. I'm a postdoctoral fellow at the University of Ottawa and the DRI champion. And the title of my project is Digital Research Infrastructure for a Neglected Group and Discipline, Advancing Equitable Access for Racialized Researchers in Social Sciences at U Ottawa. So being a racialized researcher myself, belonging to this group, I identified that we suffer a double-layered neglect where the discipline, in terms of discipline, the social sciences, and again, race-wise. So I sought to have two goals. First, to understand how research support is given to this group of racialized researchers. And then secondly, to understand how relevant most of the tools that are being developed, especially the DRI tools, are being developed, taking into consideration their relevance to the social science discipline. And so I administered a survey, which is still ongoing and the deadline is 31st of January, where I want to understand from those that give support to racialized researchers, what kind of support they give and how it's adapted to racialized researchers. And then afterwards, I plan to conduct a training for racialized researchers to expose them more to open science and DRI tools. So far, my project has been going on very well, and that is not without the support of a lot of people, including my supervisor, my mentor, Stefan Fandaka, and my mentees, Dr. Ijoma Itani and Chiedozie Alumona. I've learned a lot from them. They've been patient and understanding with me. And other OLS participants, the DRI champions, I've also learned a lot from them. And I want to thank everybody for the support. Especially, I will thank the OLS team for being such an amazing team, very professional, and the way they structure the program is engaging, but it's not tiring, right? So it's perfect for working professionals, and I'm very grateful to all of you for all the support you have given us. I've learned a lot. This is my first time at Open Science, and coming from this discipline, I didn't think it would be so relevant to me, but I found out I learned a lot that I will still apply in my discipline, that I will also incorporate in my training and make it more relevant to others. So thank you so much. And I wish to connect with some of you in the future and collaborate. Thanks.
Amazing. Congratulations, Jane. Next up, it's Luluama.
Dumelang Bakhaitso. Hello, my name is Luluama. I am originally from Botswana, but I am a PhD student in global health at McMaster University in Hamilton. And so my project is titled Co-Production in Building Hamilton's Climate Justice Framework. And so the city of Hamilton has pre-identified 10 different diverse groups from different socioeconomic backgrounds, as well as different racial backgrounds, that they will be engaging to come up with the city's holistic and inclusive climate justice framework. And so what my project is doing is utilizing Photo Voice, which is a participatory research method where you give participants cameras and then they can take pictures of their experiences. And in the case of my project, they're going to be taking pictures of what they consider to be climate justice or injustice within their communities. And overall, this is going to culminate into a community showcase that's part of the public engagement component, where we're trying to mobilize knowledge around different instances of climate injustice within the city of Hamilton. And so that's just part of the knowledge mobilization piece. And in terms of the OLS program, in general, I had such a great time. I came into the program honestly not really having a clear idea of what open scholarship was, but as the program progressed, I started to understand and really see the value of open scholarship, especially when you're dealing with a problem as huge as the climate crisis, which requires collective action, but also requires timely interventions in order to not end up in the situation that we're in, which is climate apartheid or climate coloniality, which essentially means that different underserved communities are on the front lines of the crisis. So that's essentially what my project is. So I'm grateful to everybody who has grown my project. I'm especially thankful for the OLS community, because this is invaluable work that you're doing, and I'm excited to be a champion and go out and publicize why we need open sciences in terms of dealing with some of the world's most pressing issues. So thank you so much. And obviously a huge shout out to my mentor, Carolina, and to my fellow mentee, Renee, who helped immensely in terms of growing my thoughts and project. Thank you.
Yeah, amazing. Congratulations. Next up is Frank.
Hi, everyone. My name is Frank. I'm a PhD student at the University of Lethbridge, and my project is titled Increasing DRI Access and Engagement for Black Scholars at the University of Lethbridge. So basically what my project is doing is all about is providing training and support on research data management to Black graduate students, and body scholars at the university. And I focused on DMP and Borrelias, and the reason for this is we notice that many students are doing a lot, but they have no research data management plan, which is important for open science practice. And so beyond the workshop, we already had 2 workshops in December. And then I'm also providing one-on-one sessions with them to make sure that, that the research data management plan they have actually align with exactly what they are doing. And of course, I'm very grateful to Digital Research Alliance of Canada for providing me with this opportunity. If I've never had this opportunity, perhaps I wouldn't even know that OLS is there. And I also thank the OLS team, for this intensive, very extensive learning experience. Now I could develop project and I could strongly imbibe the principle of open science while designing any project, which is very important that I never had that in mind before. And that's one of my biggest takeaway from this entire experience. And of course, my mentor, Godwin, has been very helpful, particularly when I was facing challenge with the workshop. He was very helpful, and now I could say that that is done. And so I'm also happy for the connections I made throughout this particular session. So thank you, everyone, and wish you all good luck.
Amazing. Congratulations, Frank. Next up is Nathan Woods.
Hello. I'm Nathan Woods. I'm a postdoctoral research fellow at the University of Lethbridge. My project is called Cultivating Community Capabilities Project, Navigating Justice and Respect in the Humanities Data Ecosystem. It's focused on humanities researchers and the special challenges they face in working with digital research infrastructure. In particular, the case for researchers who are working with or who are members of equity and justice seeking communities or marginalized groups. They face technical skill gaps as well as special ethical questions. So as my project was originally designed, I planned a needs assessment report that's based on an intensive interview schedule that I've been doing with humanities researchers from various groups and in a variety of disciplines. So that's ongoing. The primary outcome from that is a needs assessment report for which I'm developing some training materials for that. I hadn't necessarily designed the project because of the human ethics requirements around the data as an open data project, but I realized moving through the OLS training that I could make the outcomes much more open and collaborative. So there's 2 major outcomes for the project now. One is a repository for the training materials and the report and the materials that went into the research for the report. And the second is actually a major outcome from the OLS training, which is an open repository focused on collaborative approaches to data ethics in the humanities. There's not a lot of work on that. Yeah, so just in general, it's been a great experience. Like I said, the project was really enhanced and changed and grew to be much more relevant. So I want to thank the OLS community and my mentors, Sylvia Giorgio, for their support, the support from my mentors at ULETH, particularly in the Humanities Innovation Lab, the Digital Alliance of Canada, for the funding and the opportunity, all the researchers who are collaborating in the interviews, and also really the connections that I made in the program. I've made a lot of connections, and I'm looking forward to future collaborations.
Amazing. Congratulations, Nathan. Next up is Ara.
Hi, everyone. My name is Ara Oman. I work at McGill University and I'm a Master's 2 student. My project for the DRI EVIA track is investigating local adaptations to malaria in East African populations. I have been doing a mixture of this as well as planning workshops to work with graduate and undergraduate students in social sciences to increase capacity for data analysis. So the project originally, my main project focuses on, from a health perspective, thinking about where there's what adaptations there are to malaria and how we can increase capacity for healthcare in different regions based on from an environmental and anthropological approach as well as a genomic approach. So the OLS program has been really helpful in connecting me with other individuals both at McGill and around the country who are doing similar research, which has been really great, and also giving me some ideas about when my upcoming in the next few weeks workshops, how to kind of approach teaching individuals about open science. So thank you very much.
Amazing. Yay, congrats. Next up is Liv. Hi, Liv.
Hi, everyone. I'm Liv Abram. I use she, her pronouns, and I'm a settler student scholar at the University of Saskatchewan. And my project is all about actually a similar thing to Nathan, has become a bit of a needs assessment in terms of research data management when localizing FAIR and CARE to Indigenous data models. So I feel a bit behind everybody here. Everyone's project sounds so amazing, and I'm so inspired by everybody here, but a lot of my project has actually been about slowing down and removing a lot of the outcomes that I thought I was going to do, and actually writing a report instead, reflecting on considerations that researchers should make before they enter the field of data management and before they take on work like this and do community engaged work, because even though I had a lot of relationships to start, they weren't really enough. So that's kind of my biggest highlight, has been what I haven't been able to do. And so I've learned so much through OLS about just being gentle with myself and really focusing on the process and just being there for everybody and hoping to contribute as much as I can and expecting less. So I've had a really great time, and shout out to the Post-it crew. Thank you so much to my mentor Graciela and Alex Shield, and also Nathan Woods, who reached out. Honestly, it's been such a highlight meeting people and not just being in my little corner and being sad and alone. So thank you to everybody too. That's me.
Amazing. Congratulations, Liv. You're not behind. Next up is Hamza.
Hi, my name is Hamza. I'm a PhD student in physics at Simon Fraser University in Canada.
My project topic is to empowering equity-seeking students through the DRI and the high-performance computing training. And my projects involves about creating different Jupyter notebook as well as resources and guides about the uses of HPC for those students belonging to various underrepresented communities that are starting in research, specifically in the physics domain, but have very limited access to the proper resources. And also, like additionally, I've also created the social media posters for this project, which with the target to inspire different generation and how DRI tools help facilitate the research. So I would like to thank my mentor Alexia and all the OLS team for guiding me how to bring my vision for this project into life. And lastly, my PhD supervisor was also very helpful for in this journey. Yeah, thank you.
Yay, congratulations. Next up is Jamie.
Hi. Hi. Okay, hi. So my name is Jamie, Jamie Grizzly. I'm a PhD student at the University of Victoria. My research is in quantum algorithms, designing and developing quantum algorithms for simulating materials and molecules. Particularly, the name of my project is Advancing and Promoting Quantum Computing Using Digital Research Infrastructure Alliance Digital Research Infrastructure for to future and current and future quantum scientists. So basically, I think I don't sorry. So basically, part of my projects, there are many components. The first part involves basically doing a video which highlights HPC, how HPC is used at the University of Victoria, so various research groups. We kind of did the filming for that in November. We toured a HPC facility here at the University of Victoria, and we interviewed various research groups and how they use the computers, and we're kind of editing the video. The second part of my project is high school science outreach that we're doing in collaboration with Let's Talk Science Canada. So those outreach sessions start in February and continue into March. So we'll be doing 1 hour to 1.5 hour workshops with programming tutorials at various high schools, grades 11 to 12. There is the possibility to then package those lessons as for the Let's Talk Science organization, and for other volunteers across Canada to actually deliver the same content. And the third part of my project involves actually running some of my algorithms on the clusters. And so for that part, I think many people don't know that in quantum algorithms or quantum computing, there's a lot of the testing goes on classical computers because quantum computers are currently very noisy. So we test the performance using usually on my machine, but if I want to scale up and actually look at important effects, I'll need more computing power. So for that, yeah, so that part, after I finish that part, I'll be delivering a seminar with Black in Quantum, so which is a quantum computing research organization that kind of promotes diversity in this field. So those are 3 parts of my project. I think with Open Seeds, I kind of learn to really think of the long-term role, because I only really thought about up to the Alliance program. I'm now thinking of how it is we can really develop a quantum education platform so that various contributors could and developing a community around that. And that's it. Thank you.
Amazing. Congratulations, Jamie. Next up is Angelica.
Hi, everyone. Good morning and good afternoon. My name is Angelica. I'm a PhD student at the University of Guelph, and my project revolves around increasing both awareness and utilization of digital research infrastructures offered by DRAC. One of the main tasks that I like to highlight is that I aim to unify other disciplines at my university in particular by putting together a group of female research experts to help support students like myself who didn't have much support when I started my PhD in high computation research and bioinformatics. And I guess one big thing that I learned from this OLS experience is that open scholarship principles apply to all kinds of work, all kinds of academics. So as a scientific researcher myself, there are a lot of principles that I was already familiar with, but I've met several other individuals here that come from different disciplines like the arts that can use these same principles, but from a different angle. So my big take home was that we can all do something to contribute and build a more collaborative and innovative community. And I think that's very special. And I hope others in the future can also learn these same things from OLS. And so a big thank you to the OLS team and my mentor, Derek Moore, for this amazing learning opportunity.
Amazing. Thank you, Angelica. Next up is Francois. Francois is here. I don't see it. So let's move on to.
I'm here. Can you hear me now?
Hi. Yes.
Okay. Sorry. Okay. Pretty good. Hello everyone. My name is François Guenetti Touré. I'm a master's in computer science student at the University of Quebec at Montreal. Like basically, I'm based in Montreal. And I am an EDIA DRI champion. So like one of you, I would say. So my project is actually called it's in French because like the University of Quebec at Montreal is a French school. So like basically we sort of try to promote digital research aligned tools among those francophone students over there. So like it's called RECON, which is le réseau des étudiants chercheurs de l'Alliance de recherche numérique à l'UQAM. But basically, it's a network of student researchers of the Digital Research Alliance that are based or that are studying at the University of Quebec at Montreal and conducting their researches and like research labs over there. Basically, so it is actually a collaborative and inclusive research network at our university that aims to sort of empower students, particularly those from equity-seeking groups, by providing access to advanced digital research technologies, and including AI, cybersecurity, and data science. So basically what we do is like a peer-to-peer learning environment. So like each week we try to gather students from different research labs, and then we try to show them like tools that are available with the Digital Research Alliance and then how they can use them to sort of advance their research. So it's actually something that I've been using in my own research lab, and then we're just trying to promote it among other research students. And we also try to organize like a workshop that I was talking about, and also some sort of collaborative project. So like by the end of the project itself, we're going to gather like subgroups of students in our student network that are going to work on like problems that communities they are sort of part of actually are facing using these research alliance tools. And then yeah, we'll have some sort of project exhibition or showcase at the end of the project. Sorry. So what we're trying to do is just sort of foster technical skills and also support, peer-to-peer learning environments to overcome barriers in STEM fields. And our goals are basically providing training on advanced research network technologies with the Digital Research Alliance itself through the peer-led workshop that I was talking about, and also sort of establishing partnerships with equity-seeking groups to sort of tailor training and mentorship. And also now, last but not least, engaging with sort of institutional partners and then decision makers to foster inclusive policies. So the project that I've started in September, just as all the projects in the DRI. So like basically the problem that we're trying to solve is the limited access to to like advanced research, network for how is it called, like computing tools, sorry, for equity seeking students, the lack of practical training, and also some sort of insufficient institutional support, because like some of those schools don't have the facilities for students to learn. And then like basically in my own research lab, what I do is that when I try to sort of train like some sort of AI model on my own local computer, it takes a lot of time. But like when you use tools that are given by the Digital Research Alliance, it just takes like some hours. So which is like actually incredible. And we feel like everybody should actually just take advantage of those tools rather than just like a minority of people. And also the solution was what I was talking about. And yeah, we do have a website that I'm going to share, and also like our GitHub organization and the repository and everything. So if like if you're based in Montreal too, for those of you who are based in Montreal, maybe we can catch up on LinkedIn and try to see how we can some sort of organize some sort of networking event for DRI members. And thanks a lot to OLS, because like turning a GitHub organization into an open source organization, I learned it from OLS. And also like our mentor was really supportive. The one that was just talking right now, Jamie, is like we had the same mentor, Robert Jesman from Germany. So thank you to you all for everything that you did for us. It has really helped us, some sort of like democratize the digital research and also like research data. Thank you so much. Yeah,
Cool, amazing. Congratulations, Francois.
thank
Next
you.
up is the Muller Health team.
Hello, everyone. My name is Mosrat Novaju. I am a computer vision engineer, and the title of our project is Molar Health. What we're actually trying to do is to create an electronic health ecosystem that can share people's health data among different hospitals and healthcare practitioners in Nigeria. One highlight from OpenSeed persuasion is that before coming into OpenSeed, I personally have no idea how to build and manage open source projects, especially like the whole management aspect of it. But OpenSeed lesson, the cohort call, the materials that are being shared to us make building Molar Health possible. And thanks to everyone at OpenSeed and especially Catalyst Project. Thanks to our mentor, Mallory Freeberg, who is always available. Shout out to you. She's very patient and ready to give us valuable feedback. And lastly, thanks to my teammates, they are all here, who are always so ready to put in the work, even though they are all volunteering. Thank you guys and happy graduation.
Amazing, congratulations. Is there anyone else from the team here? I don't think I see them. No?
Hi everyone.
Hi.
Can anybody help me?
Yeah, we're here.
All right, so I'm Manifest Calvin Chakalov, and I'm the software engineer for Molar Health. So being a part of the program for the past 3 months has really been transformative for me. I really learned a lot in terms of open science and open source. It also helped me like develop my skills as regards to development and working asynchronously with teams collaboratively. It was really like impactful, and I also appreciate the cohort calls as well, because it actually gave us like a sense of what's it called, accountability. So yeah, so we're always accountable, and we're always working towards because at the beginning of the project we actually like stated that we're going to achieve certain goals, and at the end of the project, we're dedicated and really like wanting to, achieve those goals we actually set for ourselves. So one of those goals was to develop our products to a point whereby people could, interact with the front end and also save their healthcare data on the back end. So we made that a possibility. And yeah, so we also want to give a big shout out and a big thank you to our mentor as well, Mallory Freeberg. Her contributions were also great, and they helped us a lot in terms of the product direction, and also advice as regards medicine, because we don't really have medical backgrounds. We don't really have a medical background, so we just winged it, and yeah. So our feedback was actually very, very helpful, and Thank you so much. And also congratulations to everyone as well.
Yay, congratulations. I think Rook is from the team as well. Do you want to say something? No?
I'll just keep it brief. Hello, everyone. Congratulations to everyone graduating today. It has been a privilege to be the product manager at Mola Health. Being the product manager involved like starting up, kicking off the project, and we got to learn how to like conduct the market research, competitive analysis, put the PRD document in place, and there are a lot of changes that happened along the way, which we learned is part of what developing an open source product is all about. Like, we are always open to change and to invent and innovate. So congratulations, everyone.
Yay, amazing. I think that's all, right? Thank
I'm part of
you.
the team.
Sorry?
I'm part of Mola.
Richard is also part of the team.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Richard Bilikis.
Yeah. My name is Chakalov Petkov, and I am the product designer of Mola. It was an incredible journey because we weren't medical practitioners, so thinking about our users and our use cases was something I really love doing, because where we are, we don't really have good medical care, and I was so privileged to work on something as great as this, making data easy to be transferred between doctors and stop medical misdiagnosis. So about this project, it gave me a lot to think about, and I'm so happy that we had a very patient mentor, Marie Freeberg. She helped so much with the feedback, and through those feedback, I was able to improve, not just as a team member, but as a person, understanding why we do the necessary things we do when we build a product. And I'm happy that OLS was able to provide me with certain materials to help me become not just a better designer, but a better teammate. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Okay, I think I got everyone from the team now. Congratulations, everyone. That's a wrap. Thank you so much for staying a little bit longer today, but it's good that we have everyone here to celebrate each other and to celebrate our achievements together. That was a great cohort, and we are super, super happy every time. It's interesting to see how people get different things for their own lives from OLS. So that's a really happy moment for us. Olika.
Congratulations from my side too. Thank you all for staying with us. We learned so much from all of you, and each of your presentation are amazing. All of them are linked in Pad. Please do check out. As a lot of you are saying, many of you are developing training, survey, you are doing social sciences, you are doing open science in different areas. So there is always a connection. Open science is stronger only if done together. So try to find opportunities where you can combine your work with each other. Your membership in OLS does not end. You're still part of our community. Stay on, connect with each other, reach out for anything we can help with. Congratulations. Thank you for all your hard work. And Mirta.
Yeah, I just wanted to ask, in terms of just graduation formally, do we have any confirmation of that? Just, yeah, maybe I missed that.
No, you did not. You all filled the form. Now we're going to work next week to generate your certificates. We will also coordinate with NASA team to give you NASA badge, NASA TOPS badge. You don't have to do anything about NASA, mostly because the materials that we have has a huge overlap with NASA TOPS material, and a lot of OLS team were contributors to the development of NASA TOPS. So it's part of our partnership with NASA that you all get badges. If you want to check out the material, it's a bit deep dive sometimes, but what we cover in Open Seats is a lot broad, and definitely you would have a lot of fun in the future learning from each other. So you would get 2 certificates. Look out for that. If you don't hear from us, do contact us.
Thank you.
Thank
Great.
you,
Thank you
team.
all.
Thank
Then
you.
stop. Thank you.